Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Art Whisperer 88, and on your screen you will see a rough sketch I did. I call them my doodles on my sketch pad, and it's a rough guide to the composition of stencils that I had done. It's just a simple and very casual guide to the placement of the stencils, and some are new ones like this perforated one, and then some are the old ones which I had washed. You can see they're not the cleanest, but they kind of help me identify it after it's being inked, so I don't forget to pull them off. Here's a wide shot. So this is more or less what the layout will be, and then if you can remember on the print, it will be in reverse. So I'm going to start by taking these guys off. As you can see, there are quite a few layers here. You have the positive shapes, and I also have the negative shapes. And I kind of planned the sequence of colors. By the way, as you can see, I haven't really cleaned the plate that much. I want to incorporate these leftovers into the texture of the plate. I'm going to use Amsterdam, and it's a series of deep colors like this violet, which I like a lot. Here's some red, manganese blue, some graphite, and some black. So it'll be a range of deeper colors as the first layer, and then my plan is to keep adding the layers. They get lighter and lighter, so you will see in a few minutes what I mean. So anyways, I'm starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'll be 5 zones of color. So let me go ahead and start with red. And so these are kind of random spots they won't necessarily be in a grid. But I thought I would create these different zones. Go. So I'm starting with the red. And then blending into the purple. Then blending to the blue. So this is a different approach now. Instead of focusing on texture, I'll be creating different areas of color. Now this graphite seems to be semi-transparent, so maybe that's going to create some special effects. We'll see, because every color behaves differently. Now this black seems to be the strongest in terms of intensity and consistency. It's very thick. Okay. So there we have it. I'm going to add some scribbles as usual. Seems most effective on black, and I think it will create interesting textures. Okay. Now a viewer asked an interesting question, and she asked, how come I leave the paper on for a long time in some instances and I leave it for a short time in others? Well, there's no clear answer to that. Because it depends on how the plate gets inked. Now, if the inking is very thick and heavy, I don't feel it's necessary to leave the paper on too long. And when I want to transfer a ghost image, which usually is very thin, then I leave the paper on a little longer. But that's open to experiment, so I really can't give a hard and fast answer. You'd have to do some experiments on your own and see what works for you, because every plate behaves differently. Okay, let's see what we got. I see there's a very jagged edge here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think it left a lovely ghost print. So this is the first pull. I love the blending of colors, and the scribbles are very effective. And I will see if I can recover this. Naples yellow. So I'm going to have 2 zones. And let's see, and a light blue on the top. I'm glad that the brayers are behaving today. I didn't oil them, but they seem to be very quiet. Now, since I'm trying to capture a ghost print, I'm going to leave my paper on a little longer, like I had mentioned earlier. When I say longer, maybe like 10-15 minutes. Because there's so many variables here. The kind of paint you use, how much of it you use, the kind of paper you're using. Now, I like this Somerset paper because it's kind of forgiving, because it's 100% cotton. I don't know exactly how it would behave with other paper, so you'd have to experiment and do some testing on your own until you find the right timing and the right procedure. That varies for every person. And since I'm trying to capture a ghost print, I'm pressing really hard. Pressing hard on the paper so the plate really gives up the layer of paint. Okay, I'm going to leave this on for a few minutes. I'm just going to finish my cup of coffee, which I had made, and I will be right back. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. And let's see what we got. I think this is pretty cool. There we go. It's very nice ghost print and a very nice mix of colors. Here's a close-up. So this was pretty successful for a 10-minute wait. I try not to wait too long because I've had bad experiences when the paper starts to tear because the paint starts to dry and it changes from a paint to behaving more like a glue. So I have to be careful about that. So anyway, I'm happy with this second pull. This is a very pretty ghost print. And let me continue with my plan with the stencils. So I will be right back. Okay, I've assembled my first layer. These are fairly large shapes. And I'm going to do a light blue. Actually, I'll be doing two zones of a light blue. And some green. So I'm going to start out with the green. Okay. Okay, this will be my second layer. And to refresh your memory, here is the first pull from the first print. Now I don't know how opaque or how transparent the lighter colors are going to be, so this is going to be kind of a surprise. Okay. I think it's a pretty cool combination. And I love the texture on that stencil. So here's my second pull. I did spend some time cutting that, I call it my Swiss cheese stencil, because it has lots of holes in it. I think it paid off. So here's some detail. I will show you more of the detail once this has dried completely. But the texture is very similar to a woodcut where you have grains, and pretty cool. Okay. I'm going to see if I can make use of this. Okay, so here is the result. It's not very obvious, but it does add some subtle textures in the background, and it's a very different look. It's not as hard edge. Again, I will air dry this and I will decide what the next step is. Be right back. Okay, I'm back from a short break, and I can see this is dried very nicely. And now that I look at the ghost print, I think it begs for some collage. And I haven't done collage in a while, and I do miss it. And I found these scraps, as usual, in my scrap box. And I think this would look good here. And here's a piece of fragment of tissue with a warm-up exercise. I think this would look good on this side. another warm-up exercise on copy paper, and I'm gonna put him here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Mod Podge mat. I'm going to start with this piece here. There's something very satisfying about mounting a piece of collage. It's like completing the pieces of a puzzle, and I do miss that aspect of it. And I think that the black and white element gives some nice contrast to the ghost print. Okay, that's about it. Let me do a close-up for the details. It's a very nice combination of a ghost print and the collage. Here's the bottom area here. So that is the ghost print. Let me just clean this up. Have to be careful about the drips. Okay. And here's the first print. Now I think this doesn't need collage because I think it is a standalone. It's dried nicely by now. And I think the jagged edges give a little different dimension. I really like the grainy texture that the brayer creates. It's a combination of the brayer and the stencils. They work together to make this interesting texture. So again, I would like to thank all of you wonderful viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Please give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends, and I hope to see you next time.